Well, a very pleasant good evening and welcome to Spanish Fork High School. It's senior night here at Spanish Fork as it's the Spanish Fork Dons and the visiting Uintah Utes here in a key Region 10 contest. And right now, kind of a story of two different seasons for Spanish Fork. Everything in Region 10 play so far has gone the Dons' way when they've needed it to, while Uintah trying to maybe get things going in a more positive direction these last couple of games of the regular season. Great to be with everybody. I'm Ryan Pickens alongside, as always, Chris Hurst. And Chris, two different stories, and this is one of those games where if you're Spanish Fork, you have to be a little nervous of maybe not underestimating your opponent.
Yeah, as long as they prepared properly, they should be fine. Uintah comes into this contest 0-7, and they have really struggled. They've only scored 47 points this season, and give credit Spanish Fork all the time, and give them all the credit in the world is what I'm trying to say here, Ryan. And they've outscored their region opponents 136-54 and are 3-0. So looking to go 4-0 tonight is the Dons.
So it'll be very interesting to see. Of course, the thing you can't look forward to is next Wednesday night's game against the Orem Tigers. If you're Spanish Fork, it's about taking care of business, as it will be Rhett Christofferson, the sophomore kicker, to kick it away for Uintah. Back deep will be Dallas Iera, and we're set and ready to go for high school football on a Thursday night here on Spanish Fork 17. And as a short kickoff will go to the up man on the return and getting outside. That is Noah Conway, and he's got some green across the 50. He's going to be tripped up on the Spanish Fork 30-yard line. A nice return for the senior Noah Conway. His final, well, not final home game, but celebrated as a senior tonight, and a nice pickup there on the kick return.
And if you look at the numbers on the Uintah sidelines, there's not very many reserves here. They lack a lot of depth, but that was a good tackle by a sophomore there. Christofferson, as a lot of their roster is sophomore and juniors,
which might be a good sign for head coach Mike Peterson, as a chance to get some young guys some varsity experience and try to see if he can get the program going in a more positive direction. However, at the time, Chris, that's a frustrating moment to be in right here, as it looks like we're waiting some kind of equipment or something in here. Now we're going to be set and ready to go. So it'll be a first down and 10 coming up for Spanish Fork. The Dons in the all-black uniforms tonight with the silver helmets. Uintah in the all-white uniforms with black helmets. And Parker Swenson will throw on first down and completes this one out to Trey Lofton, who makes one man miss, stays up on his feet to break a tackle before he's brought down inside the 20. And just like that, the Spanish Fork Dons are in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Yeah, just a little hitch pattern around that time. I believe that was Conway that made the catch, and he's very difficult to bring down and gets a few extra yards. Swenson comes into this game with 1,800 yards passing, a little over 1,800 yards, so he might be over 2,000 when it's all said and done tonight.
Here's Kimball Morley in the backfield breaking a tackle, looking for the sideline. Morley's going to end up hurdling someone trying to break the tackle, but gets down to about the 9-yard line or so. So another nice pickup there on first down for Spanish Fork.
And it looks like Spanish Fork's going to dominate the line of scrimmage here, so I think they're able to just run the ball at will.
Swenson back to throw with some time, taking a shot, looking for Brandon Congdon in the back of the end zone, who tries to win the jump ball. It's going to go incomplete, as Ryland Spencer, the junior corner, was there in coverage, and that's going to bring up a third down and about 2 coming up here for Spanish Fork.
And Congdon's 6'4", the great basketball player for Spanish Fork. Right idea. I just think it was well covered by Uintah that time.
Parker Swenson ready to go. They will run it here with Swenson on the keeper, looking for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown Spanish Fork, and the Dons have gone up 6-0 here on their opening drive, and Spanish Fork shows that offensive ability that put up 60 last week.
Yeah, they put up 61 on Mountain View, and they're starting right where they left off by scoring in less than a minute with that 9-yard run by Swenson.
Spencer Red will come on for the extra point. Noah Conway to hold. And I think that's going to be number 50. Anyway, the snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is through. And Spanish Fork, less than a minute into the game, they are up, 47 seconds into the game. The Dons are up 7-0 here on Uintah. As great to be with you as always, Chris. And you talk about a game like this. Uintah has made a long bus ride. They've made multiple long bus rides this year. And you get to a season when you're 0-7. What's the feeling like right now around the team?
Well, I think the guys that are still showing up and playing hard, they just love football. And I talked to a former BYU player that was on last year's team. He finally got to play. He was just super excited to get out on the field, even though they had a 4-9 season. Some people just love football, so I'm sure it's tough to lose, but if you love the game and you're playing maybe as a sophomore or junior, it's a great experience.
It'll be fun and interesting. We'll take a look at our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game here in just a couple of seconds, as it will be Spencer Red to put a foot into it for Spanish Fork. Ryland Spencer and Jaden Horrocks back deep to receive. And this one, and then whistles are going to blow right away. And penalty flag comes in from the far side of the field right here. And I believe this one's going to come back, and looks like the early indications, like Chris mentioned, offsides against Spanish Fork.
Yeah, there was a couple of Dons that crossed the line, the 40-yard line, before the ball was kicked.
And with that here, we'll have a quick second. Let's take a look at our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game.
Yeah, so our first one was the Spanish Fork shouldn't overlook Uintah tonight. I know Uintah has a horrible record, but you got to play every game hard. And then, if they can get a big lead like Orem and some of the other teams that have played Uintah, it'd be great to get some of those reserves and get them some experience. And then I just keep things simple and have a basic game plan here. I don't think you have to do anything fancy. Maybe save some of that trickeration for Orem next week.
Spencer Red kicks this one away, and this one over towards the 10. It will be Jaden Horrocks on the return across the 20. Cuts back up through the middle. A nice little move there across the 25 before being brought down, and that will bring out a Uintah offense. Like Chris talked about, they've put up 47 points this year, and their senior quarterback, Dagan Oaks, right now. Chris, this is a Uintah team. We've seen them almost every season, and we've kind of seen a program start to go in the right direction, but they've had a hard time winning games, especially late in the season.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem is it's not if your program's struggling and then you play in a region that has teams that are over 3 hours away on a bus, it's very hard to get big numbers out in the program, and that's why there's very few kids on the sideline. It's a tough task. I think they should probably move them down to 3A.
Here's the give straight up the middle, and a couple of yards coming there for, I believe that was number 27 on the carry for Uintah. I don't have a 27 here on. That might be. I don't have it on the roster that we were given right here, so that could be a long night for us up there, or up here. And we'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 here coming up for Uintah.
27 is lining up as the fullback once again.
Here's the give. Ryland Spencer on the carry, and Spencer hits the middle of that line. He'll get a couple of more yards ahead, but not much again going on. And that's going to be the tough part, Chris. You talk about Spanish Fork's offensive line really controlling the Uintah defensive line. If you're Uintah and you try to run the ball a lot, it's going to be tough tonight when you get in the middle of that with Bubba Rupena and Blaine Bradford.
Right, there's a lot of beef up the middle for Spanish Fork, as you mentioned. So but so far Uintah's had 2 positive plays running the ball. So maybe that's something they can do tonight and build upon.
Ryland Spencer, number 1, the junior tailback, ready to go here deep in the backfield, and they will go play action. Oaks rolling out, looks over the middle. That one incomplete. Looking there for number 22, that's Tyler Gardiner, the senior, over the middle. That brings up 4th down, and Uintah will have to punt.
And great job by the Spanish Fork defense limiting the runs by Uintah, and they force an incomplete pass there and 3 and out. That's exactly how you wanted to start this game. We've only ran a couple minutes off the clock here, and Spanish Fork's going to get the ball for the 2nd time.
Rhett Christofferson, number 21, to punt. Back at his own 19-yard line. Spanish Fork looks like they're coming. It will be a low line drive kick. Jacob Moore will come up, and he'll bobble it. The ball is loose, and the question's going to be who ended up getting on top of it right here. Uintah went for it initially, but Spanish Fork's going to come away with it. Believe that was number 18 coming up with it for Spanish Fork. Jacob Moore, number 12, recovering it, and it will be first down for Spanish Fork. That's the dangers. We talked about it beforehand. All the rain that we've gotten here in Utah County over the last week. That field tonight, Chris, I've been told it's very, very soft.
Yeah, it's probably soft, and also when that water gets on that ball, it's hard to hang on to it, and that ball's going to be soaked here by the end of this ball game. 3-step drop there. Swenson
incompletes the pass, looking for this time Trey Lofton, number 3, and that brings up a second down and 10.
Second 10, and if I'm Spanish Fork, maybe I'm looking more to Kimball Morley on the ground, as it's just due to the weather conditions.
Morley once again, the deep back here for Spanish Fork, and Swenson will go back to throw, looking for the pump fake down the seam, has a man, that's Noah Conway in stride, and Conway is gone. Touchdown Spanish Fork.
Yeah, 69-yard reception by Conway there, and he just ran a seam route that time and was uncovered.
And the senior makes his second big play at the kick return that nearly went for a touchdown. And then here a nice 69-yarder as the fireworks go off right now in the end zone. Up in the field just next to us here. 13-0 Spanish Fork. The Dons have scored on their first 2 offensive plays, of possessions, I should say, of the ball game.
And exactly how they wanted to start. And you're right, Conway is having himself a heck of a ball game. He really set up that first touchdown with that return on the kickoff, and then that huge catch right there. He's looking to have himself maybe his biggest all-purpose yard game ever.
So 14-0 Spanish Fork after Spencer Red knocks through the extra point here, as we are set and ready to go for what should be a fun night of high school football here on Spanish Fork 17. As we got a Thursday night ball game, Chris, and then next Wednesday, well, we play a day earlier again. We play on Wednesday next week, which should be fun. The Orem Tigers are in town, and we'll have that game here on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, it should be a huge ball game, and that's most likely going to decide the Region 10 championship. The way things are looking here and the way Orem's been playing, both teams should be coming in 4-0, and if Spanish Fork plays their best ball game, who knows, maybe they can give the Tigers a run for their money.
The nice thing, if you're Spanish Fork, a win tonight pretty much puts you, Chris, in that position where you know you're going to have a home playoff game in that first round.
And that's nice to not have to travel to a region that's far away up north.
Here's a line drive kickoff over towards the sideline. Horrocks will bring it out from about the 5. Across the 15 to the 20, cuts it up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets into the open field across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. A nice return there for Jaden Horrocks, number 20, the junior. And now an opportunity here for this Uintah offense, who on their first possession, Chris, did some nice things, but got into that third down position and just couldn't find a way to convert.
Yeah, and they really did a good job of running on first and second down, and just we'll see if they try to continue to run here, if they try and get some yards in the air. It's going to be tough to pass tonight just due to the weather conditions.
First down and 10, ball right now on the 40-yard line here for Uintah. Utes ready to go. Here is a give, and this one going nowhere. Josh Trapney, the ball comes loose. Spanish Fork has it, and Ben Boyack will bring it back for a touchdown, a scoop and score. I don't really know if the ball ever hit the ground, but somehow it got into the hands of Ben Boyack, who takes it back. It's 20-0 Dons.
Wow, and what a great play here as the ball just comes loose. You can't really see it there on the Tony Basso Auto Group instant replay, but Ben Boyack runs into the end zone. Call that about a 35-yard fumble return for him.
So a nice pickup there for Ben Boyack, and Spencer Red has been quite busy here in the first 4 minutes of this one, as he'll come on here for the PAT. Snap is good, hold good. The kick is through the uprights for Spencer Red, and with 8:57 to go in the first quarter, Spanish Fork has jumped out to a 21-0 lead here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's take a moment here to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible tonight, as we have the Tony Basso Auto Group, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Prime Mortgage Lending, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, Two Jacks Pizza, and Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance. We thank them for making this broadcast tonight and our many other broadcasts possible throughout our high school sports season. We also want to welcome all those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17, and those watching on sfcn.org by hitting the Watch Live button at the top of the page here. So we're set and ready to go. 21-0 Spanish Fork. We've seen a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. We've seen a defensive touchdown. We're waiting for the special teams touchdown right now, but Spencer Red will kind of pooch kick this one. Coming up to return it will be Uintah, and the Utes will get a nice return out to about the 36-yard line. And trying to see here, that was number 19. That was Carter Smith, the sophomore, on the return. And now an opportunity here for Uintah to come back out right here. And really, Chris, you talk about trying to get something going offensively. Uintah's had a little bit of success with the running game. They have to win that battle up front.
Yeah, and they didn't win it on that last play, and that's why they fumbled. Ben Boyack ran that into the end zone. But give Spanish Fork credit, 3 touchdowns in the first 3 minutes of the ball game. They're on pace for 96 points this quarter, Ryan.
I formation set, ready to go. Here's the give. That's Jaden Horrocks who breaks free, and Horrocks is going to have close to about 9 yards there on first down. A nice pickup there for Uintah on first down.
That'll bring up a second short, and Uintah's just lining up in the I formation and just trying to run it up the middle. We'll see if Spanish Fork loads a couple more guys in the box here to counter.
You almost kind of wonder if you're Spanish Fork, if you just don't load the box and say, if you're going to beat us, you have to take your shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
I formation again. Jaden Horrocks, the deep back right here. Here's the give, straight up the middle. That's going to be a first down and more across midfield. Zach Buse in there on the tackle for Spanish Fork. And Uintah has a first down, and they're into Spanish Fork territory.
Yeah, great run off to the left side, the far side of the screen there. Just a simple run in between the guard and tackle, and that looked like that was going to go a long ways. Great run that time by Uintah, and Horrocks, he's having himself a heck of a ball game for Uintah.
Once again, we'll see the I formation. And the give this time to the fullback. That's the number 27, and just a couple of yards straight ahead before a couple of downs will bring him back. And Spanish Fork trying to get in there and rip that ball loose again.
Yeah, they worked on that one play, but still a big gain by the fullback as they're able to get 4 or 5. I think Spanish Fork might want to cheat those linebackers up a little bit.
2nd down and 7 coming up here for Uintah. Uintah's been pretty just kind of straight up power run through the most part of this one. Dagan Oaks, the quarterback, will pitch this one out. This is Rylan Spencer, number 1, and Spencer's going to get a couple down to about the 41-yard line. He might get the 40 with a favorable spot, but nonetheless, it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, brings up a manageable 3rd and 4. Last time we saw Uintah in this position, they decided to go play action pass. See if they continue to keep it on the ground.
6:52 to go, first quarter. Spanish Fork has found a way to score a defensive touchdown and then scored twice on just 2 quick offensive possessions to take an early 21-0 lead. Here's the 3rd and 4 play coming up right now. Here's the pitch. Spencer going to go outside, cuts it back up into the middle, and again, just not much. And that play, he in fact lost, I believe, a yard or so, back to about the 41, and that brings up 4th down and about 5.
We'll see if Uintah goes for it here, if they're going to punt. If I'm them, I'm probably trying to go for it here. Have nothing to lose, down 21-0.
Rhett Christofferson has been their kicker and punter, and he's on the sideline. And the offense on the field looks like the Utes are going to roll the dice here early on. 4th down and 5, I formation, ready to go under center. Oaks, and there's some movement up front, and we'll see. I think it was off the left guard for Uintah jumps, and that's going to make it a 4th and 10, Chris, and that probably changes things here if you're Uintah.
Yeah, and they're bringing on the punt team now, so that changes the field position enough that they're going to punt.
Rhett Christofferson back at his own 40-yard line will punt here for Uintah. Pressure comes. He gets the punt off and having to run up on it. Now it's just going to take a nice Spanish Fork bounced straight up into the air, and it'll be down at around the 21-yard line with 5:18 to go here in the first quarter. Spanish Fork's offense right back to work, Chris. And you mentioned it, tonight's one of those games, if you're Spanish Fork, you're the offensive coordinator, you have an opportunity probably just to use the running backs tonight and just open up a couple of gaps.
Right, last time they just threw a little seam pass to Conway there, and they only needed one play to score. See if they keep throwing it.
Kimball Morley in the backfield. Swenson will throw here. Looking this one towards the sideline. It goes incomplete. Trying to get it out there to number 3, Trey Lofton, and that brings up a 2nd and 10.
And that ball's just a little short there. Lofton was wide open. Uintah's playing a lot, keeping a lot of distance between them and the receivers, trying to keep everything in front of them.
A lot of those corners, though, both of them kind of playing off on an island almost, having to play a lot of man with the safeties in the slot. Here's a 2nd and 10 play. Parker Swenson will throw. He's trying to go pump fake, looking up top. Has a man out there. That's Iera who makes the catch. It goes in and out of his hands, incomplete. Iera had nobody there super close to him with his speed, Chris. If he hauls that one in, that might have been 6.
Might have been 6. He had to wait for the ball. But still, that's a ball you got to come up with. And if he's able to catch that, make one move, he's probably running into the end zone right now.
Brings up a 3rd and long here for Spanish Fork. The Dons pretty much going no huddle here so far tonight. Swenson back to throw, steps up, goes down, and he's sacked back in the backfield. Getting there was number 22. That is Tyler Gardner, number 22 on the Two Jacks Pizza quarterback sack, and that brings up 4th down, and Spanish Fork will have to punt.
Yeah, and Spanish Fork threw it all 3 times, incompletions. They really were hurt by that drop by Dallas Iera, and that sack really moves them back. Great job by the Uintah defense here as they struggled early on.
One thing in pregame warm-ups, just seeing it looked like number 10, Caden Holt, was not dressed tonight. So Spencer Red, number 39, will come on to punt. And here's a pretty good punt that's going to be fielded around the 49-yard line and returned. That's number 19. That's Carter Smith, who breaks a couple of tackles and then is going to be thrown down around the 41-yard line. So a nice return here for Uintah. And the Utes will still have their best starting field position tonight. They'll start on the side of the field here. Well, they'll start in plus territory here on this drive.
They picked up a 1st down on that last drive, did a great job on the ground, and we'll see if they can't get some momentum and try and make this a ball game here.
4 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Uintah starting here at the Spanish Fork 41-yard line. Once again in that I formation set. Deep back is going to be Jaden Horrocks, who takes the carry, runs right into the heart of the defense, and is brought down. He'll pick up maybe a half yard, maybe a full yard by the end of the day. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Wow, and Horrocks just looks like a scout team running back out there against the Dons. There are no holes. The gaps are being plugged by defensive linemen and linebackers. He's not getting a whole lot of blocking on that last play.
Brings up 2nd down, and they're going to actually say that he had no gain on that 1st down carry. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here for Uintah. The Utes, for the first time, going into a shotgun formation here. They'll give a spread look here with Oaks from the shotgun, takes a high snap, pressure from the backside, gets it out quickly, and incompletes that pass, looking out for number 22, Tyler Gardner, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down play here for Uintah. Gardner was open out there, but he just couldn't quite bring it in, and it brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, and, that ball's got to weigh 100 pounds, Ryan, with all the moisture that's on the ground, and they've set it down every play on the ground to hike it, and it's just soaking up moisture. I know at the high school level they're not rotating as many footballs as maybe they are in the NFL.
Your best chance to throw, Chris, might be on 1st down when that ball's just been on the field for one play. But we'll see what Uintah does here in 3rd and 10. Oaks pressured from behind and goes down back in midfield. Just tried to spin. This time he spun right into, I believe, Josh Traffney, number 41, on the Two Jacks Pizza quarterback sack right there. And a tough play there if you're Dagan Oaks.
Yeah, a couple of guys there. Joe Grant hit him about the same time as Traffney did as well, and great job by the Dons So, although they haven't scored a touchdown here in 6 minutes, they've slowed down the offensive pace.
Christofferson back to punt at his own 36. Slow to get the punt off is a low line drive punt. Jacob Moore, number 12, mishandles it. Iera is going to pick it up, and he's going to be dropped back at the 21-yard line. The second time tonight that we've seen Spanish Fork try to field a punt after it hits the ground, Chris. And usually once it hits the ground, that's when you kind of just get away from it, right?
Right, and that's something that Spanish Fork's got to work on. They cannot do that against Orem next week. Uintah's coverage team's been slow to get down at times, where they'd have themselves 2 fumble recoveries. Orem's not going to be slow to get down in coverage.
So Spanish Fork will start here with it at their own 22-yard line with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. We saw Spanish Fork have a 3-and-out on their last drive, and here they'll set up the screen pass. Here's Dallas Iera trying to get outside, has the speed, he'll have the first down, makes the man miss, and will pick up a few more before being sent out of bounds. That will be a first down for Spanish Fork to the 36-yard line, and the Dons able to go back to the basics right there.
Yeah, and Iera there with a couple of nice spin moves we'll see here, and breaking a couple of tackles and picking up a few extra yards. Great job after getting the catch and getting downfield in a hurry. Iera's got a lot of speed.
First down and 10 out to the 37, and Parker Swenson will give it straight up the middle, and this time not much going on there for, I believe, Marco Williams, number 20, who got the carry.
Yeah, and he met the sophomore Dylan Summers in a hurry there for Uintah.
Brings up 2nd and 11. Swenson back to throw, looking out in the flat, has a man, that's Iera, who will try to break one tackle, still moving ahead, and this time now will be stopped up. A nice stop there. Number 34 getting in there. That is Chase Wagner, the senior, doing a nice job.
Yeah, minimal pickup there by Iera, and it brings up a third manageable 5 for the Dons, but Uintah's defense has been playing a lot better after those last two drives.
Third down and about 5. Swenson to throw, takes the middle route, and that one in and out of the hands, I believe, of Noah Conway. And that will bring up 4th down. And we'll see here the early indications appear that Spanish Fork, Chris, is going to go for it here.
Yeah, they're not even hesitating to keep the offense on the field here.
So 4th down and 5 for Spanish Fork. They need the 47-yard line for a first down. Flag comes in, and there's a completion out, and Iera with some space down the sideline will pick up enough for a first down, but we'll see what the penalty flag was thrown right around the line of scrimmage, and just from the way they're blowing the whistles, Chris, this one looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, Swenson's not moving down the field. The receivers aren't. It looks like probably a legal formation by the Dons would be my guess.
Can only have so many guys in the on the line of scrimmage. As right now they appear to be explaining at least the penalty to Spanish Fork, what the call is, and we'll see. It's going to be, it looks like, an illegal procedure against the Dons. And then a holding against Spanish Fork. And that will replay 4th down. So multiple penalties right here, and that will probably change the call, I would imagine, by Preston Parrish and the Dons, as Spencer Red will trot out here. It looks like the punt.
Yeah, Spencer Red will get the opportunity to punt again. Uintah is hanging tough after that first 3 minutes of the quarter where they gave up those 3 touchdowns. Their defense has looked a lot better, and so has their offense.
This punt going over towards Smith. It takes a bounce straight up. Smith will play it on a bounce and pick up a good amount of yardage. Pulled down from behind. And there's a penalty flag comes in here, and probably a late hit there. The tackle was already made when somebody came kind of adding onto the pile, as we'll probably be able to see here on the replay.
And it's one thing to add onto the pile, but when it's 3 yards out of bounds, that's probably noticeable, especially right when the official's there.
So this one will probably tack 15 onto the end of the return.
Yeah, Uintah will get the ball once again in plus territory, looking to capitalize and get some points.
And the tough part with it is, Chris, in this ball game, you don't want to ever practice bad habits, but in a game like this, leading up to understanding the game that you potentially have next week with Orem, you really can't afford this late in the season, Chris, to maybe make some mental mistakes this week that might transfer over into next.
Right. It's kind of interesting. You'll see a lot of maybe SEC teams play an FCS team the week before a big game. I don't know if this helps or hurts Spanish Fork.
Here's number 27 again on the carry, and he gets down to about the 30-yard line or so. A good pickup there, and that's been a little quick hitter there. Just the dive with the fullback tonight, Chris, has been a pretty successful play for Uintah.
Yeah, the fullback's only a yard and a half off the line of scrimmage. Seems to be very quick, and then that's worked best besides giving it to the I-back, because if it gives the Spanish Fork defenders time to come up to defend that run.
Once again, we'll see that same I formation. Dagan Oaks gives it to 27 again, and 27 makes a one-man miss before being brought down by Kimball Peterman, number 28, and that's going to bring up a third down and about 3 or so coming up.
Yeah, 3rd and 3. I imagine Uintah's going to probably think 4-down territory. I wouldn't be surprised if they go play action pass here.
You're in a position where you can throw it really on 3rd down, because, Chris, you have that 4th down play, so if it goes incomplete, you're still in a good manageable situation. 9 seconds here on the game clock. They'll get it off, and this one going nowhere with Ryland Spencer, and that will bring up 4th down.
That brings up 4th down, and it's going to run the quarter out as well.
We've reached the end of the first quarter. Spanish Fork started quick and scored early. The Dons up 21-0 on Uintah at the end of one. High school football here on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance.
See your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome you back here on Spanish Fork 17. Great to be with everybody. Ryan Pickens and Chris Hurst as Spanish Fork having their second to last home game, taking the senior night though tonight against Uintah. And right now, the Dons looking pretty good here, up 21-0 here on Uintah. The Utes are going to be on a 4th down and about 6 from the 35-yard line. And Uintah, Chris, has had some pretty good field position for the most part. They've just given up those couple of big plays that went for 6.
Yeah, they gave up a big kickoff return, that big touchdown pass, and had that fumble. But outside of that, they've done a pretty good job on defense.
High formation set. Dagan Oaks under center. He will give it to Spencer up the middle. Spencer's going to be short of the 1st down. He'll get down to about the 31-yard line or so, and that will be a turnover on downs. The Spanish Forks offense will get the football here with 11:44 to go here in the second quarter.
And that's just a tough play call when you have that many yards to go. It was a decent run. It's just 4 or 5 yards too short.
So Spanish Forks offense right now in the all-black uniforms will come out here and get ready to go here. It will be a 1st down and 10 and a completion out into the just a kind of a screen pass out to, I believe, Noah Conway, number 8. Conway will get a couple of yards there on 1st down.
Yeah, he'll get a couple. He's a little upset they blew the whistle. He thought he was going to be able to break some more tackles there, and Uintah was running guys all over the place in their secondary, and actually, I think, mistakenly moved a guy in the right direction there. They had 3 guys to 2 over there.
It'll be 2nd down and about 7. I think we might have had a penalty flag, actually. It looks like on the far side of the field. And we'll see, it's going to be a personal foul face mask on the offense. So that's going to move Spanish Fork back right here, and that will put them in about a 1st and about 25 or so.
And Ryan, you mentioned about getting into bad habits, and now we've seen Spanish Fork get a couple of huge penalties of late, and that's something you don't want to do, especially heading into a big ball game against Orem next week.
There's a completion out. It's going to be Dallas Ayera who will fight his way out across the 31-yard line. Good pickup right there as they go out to Ayera, and that's just been something they've liked to do, just that kind of up and just that out route.
Yeah, the other thing they like to do is go deep to Ayera. I'm wondering when they're going to take another shot at that.
Bring up 2nd and 12 here, 11:06 to play before halftime. Back to throw, Parker Swenson, 3-step drop, completes this one. That's number 4, Brandon Congdon on the catch, and a good pickup there for the senior wide receiver.
Yeah, bring up 3rd and looks like about 4. So I think Spanish Fork probably will elect to throw the ball here in this situation.
They've had some success, especially with those corners playing back right here. Here's the give straight up the middle. It's going to be enough. Marco Williams breaks free, cuts it back up in the middle. Still on his feet. That's going to be a good gain. Williams still down the sideline, and he will score. Touchdown, Spanish Fork. Marco Williams. And there's a penalty flag, however, back at around the 20-yard line. So.
And is it on this block? This is a great block. At least it looked legal. Maybe it was helmet to helmet that time by number 22 of the Dons throwing that block.
And the tough part with that, Marco Williams, a lot of work there to break that run.
Yeah, I was about ready to call.
And they're going to wave it off, and that will end up touchdown Spanish Fork.
So that's a 61-yard run there by Marco Williams. He looked like a gazelle out there at times.
A couple of times I thought he was going down. He just found a way to stay up and just kept those legs moving, and that ends up in 6 for Spanish Fork. Once again, it's a big play. It's a 2 or 3 play drive that ends up in a Spanish Fork touchdown. Spencer Red will come on, and he will put the extra point through the uprights. And with 10:53 to go here before halftime, Spanish Fork is up 28-0 here on the Uintah Utes.
Yeah, great drive that time by Spanish Fork, and I think they might just want to try and keep the ball on the ground. I think they'll dominate the line of scrimmage, and Marco Williams has some wheels on him. And next week, Ryan, we're going to be right here as the Orem Tigers visit, and Orem's having themselves a great season, the defending state champions, looking to get another state title possibly this season.
And that's a really good team with wide receiver Puka Nakua. Will put on, I'm sure, will be a tough test next week for Caleb Lundquist and Kimball Peterman and the secondary for sure. This was an Orem team last week that beat Uintah by a final of 75-0 over in Vernal. So really kind of going to be an interesting ball game. The region championship, if everything holds up tonight, looks like it will be on the line, and the number 1 seed out of Region 10 as the kickoff here will go deep, and that one's going to go to about the 1-yard line. Ryland Spencer will bring it across the 20 to across the 25, gets outside, has some space across the 40 into Spanish Fork territory, cuts back, and will finally be brought down around the 32-yard line. A good pickup for Uintah there, Chris. And if there's maybe a part of the game that maybe worries you right now, if you're Preston Parish, it's Uintah's winning the special teams battle.
They have, well, actually, I think the kick return teams are winning the special team battle. Both kick coverages have struggled tonight, but great run that time by Ryland Spencer, as he found the outside crease there and then just cut up. And I thought there for a minute he was going to have 6 points for Uintah.
I formation set for the Utes here on 1st and 10. And here's the give. It's Jaden Horrocks up the middle, and Horrocks will get a few yards, but not very much here, and they'll blow the play dead as he gets down to about the 32-yard line, pickup of maybe a yard.
Yeah, and Uintah's shown a lot of heart, just continuing to run into the bigger Spanish Fork defense, and they're getting positive yards at times, but it's a tough task.
It doesn't get any easier next week for Uintah. They'll make another trip just down the road here next week to Salem Hills.
Yeah, well, I guess that'll be their last game of the season. They're mathematically out of going to the playoffs, but if this whole score holds up.
Fumble, the ball is loose, and I think Spanish Fork was able to get on it. Right there was number 85, Joe Graham, with the Mikkel, Christiansen, and Wise attorneys at law. Great defensive play there. Right time in the right place for Joe Graham. And a turnover right there gives the ball back to Spanish Fork.
Ball security's been an issue for Uintah. That's their second fumble tonight. We'll see if Spanish Fork keeps the ball on the ground here. They've got it. We got no running. Oh, there we go. Morley runs into the backfield.
We've seen both Kimball Morley and Marco Williams have success tonight for Spanish Fork. High snap. Parker Swenson will be able to pick it back up. Now he's trying to dance around and do something here. Still on his feet, and he'll finally be brought down around the 24-yard line or so. So it's going to be about a 7-yard loss. But Parker Swenson, they're able to find a way to make something there out of nothing, really, and just to kind of minimize the loss.
Yeah, he did a good job of minimizing the loss, but he needs to get rid of that ball. You can't take sacks that are that deep in your backfield.
Back to throw. This one incomplete, looking for Noah Conway out in the flat. And some extracurricular activity here, but that will bring up 3rd down and 17.
And the Spanish Fork's offense has either been a quick strike, couple of plays, touchdown, or they've really shot themselves in the foot with penalties and then had to punt. It's either success in a hurry or punt.
And in a position like next week's game with Orem, it's not something where you can really shoot yourself in the foot too much playing the defending state champs. Here's Swenson taking a shot over the top, and that one's almost intercepted. It's batted away. Number 11 was there in the coverage, and that will bring up 4th down.
And number 11 there was in the right spot. That ball was just underthrown for Iera. I think Swenson that time was just throwing it up in the air and hoping Iera would make a play for him.
It's worked out a couple of times for Spanish Fork this year, as Spencer Red will come on to punt. Uintah is going to drop 3 guys back in the return coverage. Spencer Red gets a good punt off here, and it will be returned and being pulled down immediately, just grabbing the jersey and bringing down number 11 on the return was Spanish Fork. 9:02 to go here before halftime. 28-0 lead for Spanish Fork, as we'll see Uintah back with the offense here in a moment. And really what we've seen, Chris, from Uintah, they've been able to put a couple of drives together, short drives, but then something right now has just kind of hurt the Utes when they've gotten those positions.
Yeah, the Utes have actually been winning the field position for the most part tonight. They just haven't been able to capitalize it due to the stagnant offense, but give them credit. Their defense has played well in spurts, and when we look at the average field position, they've been winning it.
Dagan Oaks from shotgun. Ryland Spencer in the backfield, number 1, and Spencer gets the carry, tries to cut it back up into the middle. Jacob Moore, Joe Graham, and a whole host of Dons getting there on the tackle, and that will bring up a 2nd down play. That's going to be close to a 4-yard loss there on 1st down.
Yeah, great job by the defense, and Uintah tries to go outside that time and just ran backwards. And I think the plays that have been working are those quick hitters to the fullback and those quick runs up the middle between the guards. So I think that's something Uintah probably should continue to do.
We have a different fullback in there right now. Riley White, number 26, checking in. And here's the give. Ryland Spencer this time brought down. Kalipe Mackay, number 53, getting there to make the tackle in the backfield. And right now, the Uintah offensive line, Chris, not able to win that position up front, and now they'll lose a couple more yards.
Yeah, and great push by the Spanish Fork's defensive line once again, as they just pushed those offensive linemen back into the running lanes, and the rest of the team was able to get there essentially.
Ball back on the 35-yard line. It's a 3rd down and 19, and this is not a position Uintah wants to be in a ton tonight, where they're going to have to take a shot down the field. Oaks will be back to throw, stepping up, looks over the middle, has a man, but I think he skipped it in there, incomplete. Was looking there for number 5. That is Riggs Anderson, who comes up limping here, and he's hobbling off the field there, as you see. And that will bring up 4th down. One of his coaches just picks him right up and gets him over to the sideline.
It's a way to get a player off the field in a hurry and keep this game efficient. I like it. hopefully he's all right as well.
4th down and 19. The punt team coming on here, and once again they get a pretty good pressure there on Christofferson, and the punt will be down at about the 37-38 yard line. So good field position for Spanish Fork. 7:32 to go before the half. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making each and every broadcast possible tonight and throughout our season.
And we got the Tony Basso Auto Group, Prime Mortgage Lending, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen, Wise Attorneys at Law, 2 Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports. We'd like to thank these sponsors for making this broadcast possible tonight.
1st and 10 from the 38 for Spanish Fork. They'll get this one out to Noah Conway, who's trying to get some space, cuts it back up the middle of the field, still on his feet. He's going to have his jersey pulled from behind before a couple of Utes are able to get there to slow him up. So a good pickup there for Noah Conway, who's found a couple of times tonight to get in some open space.
Yeah, and Spanish Fork's really excelled when they've just kept things simple, maybe dink and dunk or just running up the middle. I think when they're trying to go downfield, they're getting a lot of pressure and making mistakes.
Swenson back to throw, pump fakes, takes a shot over the top, one-on-one coverage, going out there, reaching for it, coming up with it, touchdown Spanish Fork, and that is Trey Lofton, number 3.
Yeah, great catch by Lofton. Just as I say, they need to go. They've been struggling to go downfield. He makes a one-handed catch.
And so it ends up there in 6, and a nice job there for Spanish Fork, as it's a nice way over the top there. Parker Swenson showing the arm, puts it right in the right spot, and it ends up in 6 for Spanish Fork. Here's Spencer Red on for the PAT. The hold is good, the kick is good, and no good. The kick is not good. Spencer Red misses it with 7:10 to go here in right here before the half. Spanish Fork again, Chris, we talk about the quick strike offense, and that ends up right now again helping Spanish Fork.
Yeah, it does, and just like that, with a one-handed catch by Lofton, Spanish Fork finds himself with a 34-0 lead. I guess the question is, when do you start letting some of the reserves in this ball game? I assume they're going to keep their starters in for this half. The mercy rule's about 35 points, so that extra point actually hurts that situation, but that won't start until the second half anyways.
Yeah, and there's some, I was listening to the officials explain it to our clock operators up here before the ball game, and it kind of depends here as to what's going to happen, but they may end up just kind of letting the clock go a little more tonight, let Uintah get on the potentially get on the bus ride home a little bit earlier, as coming up will be Ryland Spencer, number 1, on the return. Spencer's going to cut this one back up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, now jumps it outside, and still on his feet as he gets across the 40 to about the 45-yard line. A nice return there for the junior Ryland Spencer.
And he's a little exhausted after making that run, but man, what a great run by Spencer there, as he broke multiple tackles, and it's good to see these Uintah Utes still playing hard.
So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be 1st down and 10. Ball will be on the 45-yard line here for Uintah. And that's the thing, Chris, you want to see right now is you want to see teams play hard all the way through the end.
Yeah, I mean, you know, high school sports is one of those great things that builds teamwork, leadership, and other skills that can be used in other areas. So I think it's great that these guys are coming out and playing.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Uintah, straight up the middle with the running play. And again, the Utes are going to lose a yard or two. They might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but from where the pile ended up, it looked like Uintah just got back, or lost a yard, but they're going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Back to the line of scrimmage brings up 2nd and 10, and Uintah has only thrown 2 or 3 passes, so very content to keep the ball on the ground.
Bring up 2nd and 10 here for the Utes. Ball on the 45-yard line, and we'll see quarterback Dagan Oaks, the senior, right now in the shotgun formation. Back to throw. Oaks steps up, looks over the middle, has a man. That's going to be, it looks like, complete. That is number 21, Rhett Christofferson. And Christofferson's got a Uintah 1st down to the Spanish Fork 40.
Yeah, brings up a 1st and 10, and they're back on the plus side of the field. And Uintah spent a lot of time on this side. If they can just get maybe 1 or 2 plays to go, maybe they'll be able to break this shutout.
Be 1st and 10. Ball will be on the 40-yard line. Uintah right here is trying to see what they can do here to kind of jumpstart some offense, maybe get something going in a better direction here this evening. High snap, they get it down though, and here's Jaden Horrocks, and this one was stopped from the get-go at that high snap. And a nice job, Spanish Fork in pursuit. We kind of wondered how much success Uintah could have, Chris, tonight trying to run the ball against a big defensive line and quick linebackers.
Yeah, and they've really struggled trying to go outside the tackles, and great job by Joe Graham playing disciplined defense and staying in his lane. And right now they're putting his helmet back together, but Spanish Fork will take a timeout.
Well, right now, to give you an idea, the Region 10 standings, Orem and Spanish Fork, they're both 4-0 right now. Right now, they're both in first. Right now, Salem Hills at 2-2, Mountain View at 2-3, and I'm wondering,
those standings, they've only
played 3 region games.
So they're already counting tonight's scores and WinCom. A little glitch in the Deseret News software there.
It's interesting because, wow, okay, well.
So if everything holds up, that's what the standings will be.
If everything holds up there, Region 10 matched up with Region 11, and right now, before the game, it looked like it was going to be either Ogden or Tooele would be the opponent for Spanish Fork. Those are the teams in the 3 and the 4 spot. Ogden beating Tooele a few weeks ago, and so an opportunity most likely coming into tonight, it was going to end up being Ogden would be the first round opponent for Spanish Fork, and the Dons would at least have a home game. Either way that one works out.
And Spanish Fork's overall record is 5-2, so they've played great even in the non-region games.
2nd and 13, and nothing going on there for Uintah, and that will make it 3rd down and long at 3rd and 15.
And Spanish Fork had that tough, heartbreaking 4th quarter loss to Cypress, which is a 6A team, or they might be 6-1. So really great season for the Dons.
You have to like where you're at. If you're Preston Parish and you get a favorable draw in within the region, you have to like, or within the state playoffs, you have to kind of like your potential to make a deeper run than you had last year, and probably a deeper run than Spanish Forks had the last few years. Oaks steps up, and he's going to be pulled down, and now he's brought down after gaining a couple here. Well, no, he'll actually lose a couple more back to about the 46-yard line. That's been the tough part right there for Uintah. Every time they get something going in a positive direction, Chris, something stalls the drive.
Yeah, and once again that happens for Uintah. And back to the playoff situation, the Ridgeline was the spoiler last year in that first round game, so who knows? You never know once you get in the playoffs. That 2-3 spot, sometimes there's some pretty even matchups.
And really kind of a toss-up almost. And here's a floating snap. They get some pressure on Christofferson, and Christofferson's punt will go over towards the sideline and go out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. And that's where Spanish Fork will start with some good field position here. And right now with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go before the half, Spanish Fork with all 3 timeouts, and right now a 34-0 lead here on Spanish Fork 17. Coming up at the half, we'll have the halftime show here. I believe they're doing senior stuff for, I believe it's going to be band, cheer, and drill coming up here as Parker Swenson looking down the seam again, has Noah Conway. Conway breaks free, and Conway's in a foot race, makes a cutback move, kind of slowed down at the end, and he's pulled down at about the 8-yard line. And a heads-up play on another big first down for Spanish Fork. Chris, on another big-time play.
Yeah, that was a huge gain, and Conway thought he could break the tackle there at the end, so he slows down, but great job by Uintah bringing him down there in a big-time tackle. But if you're Conway, I think you just continue to run. He might have been able to drag that defender. Instead, he lost all his momentum, but he's having himself a huge ball game, so you can't blame him.
It'll be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Here's the give. It's Kimball Morley in. Touchdown. No, I'm sorry, Parker Swenson kept it, and he's down at the 1-yard line.
It looked like Kimball Morley
I
would
thought
have
for
had
sure
it easy, but
I thought Kimball Morley had it, but it was Parker Swenson. Fooled me. So now we'll see it from the 1 yard line. This time it is Kimball Morley, and this time he's into the end zone for a Spanish Fork touchdown. And the Dons will take a 40-0 lead here with 3:18 to go before halftime.
And that is the 6th different Don to score a touchdown tonight. Spreading the love tonight in the end zone are the Dons.
You see fireworks going off here. I believe they're having fireworks post-game as well. I could be wrong on that, though. That's what I was told. Spencer Red will put this extra point through the uprights. And it's 41-0 Spanish Fork here with 3:18 to play in the first half here. And Chris, it's one of those games really where if you're Spanish Fork, it will be nice. You're going to get some of those younger players, get some minutes, at least probably be able to get them in for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think so. The other thing is the one criticism I have on Spanish Fork is just the negative sacks and penalties they've had in critical situations, which is forced punts. Or this score might be even higher, so they need to take a look at that. But man, their offense has looked explosive tonight against Uintah. And as I mentioned, 6 different guys have scored touchdowns. Swenson, Conway, Boyack, Williams, Lofton, and now Kimball. So that's pretty impressive when you can spread the end zone love like that.
It'll be first. It won't be 1st and 10. Well, I mean, it will be here in a moment. But first, we got to do the kickoff. Let's cover that first. Let's cover the kickoff, and then we'll have 1st and 10. As we'll see, Spencer Red's kicked it deep a couple times, but they've also just kind of done the little pooch kick. And here they'll just kind of kick this one straight up into the air around the 35-yard line, and catching it and getting hit immediately was the return man, the up back there, and I believe it might have been Garrett Wilson. It's either him or it was Ryan Keever, number 62.
Keever with the catch there, and he just got to remember you can't fair catch it. And part of the reason they're doing that is to try and maybe create a fumble. That's the only reason you kick it high up in the air in that situation. So if you're Keever, remember you can call a fair catch if you're any guy that's returning the ball, and it's probably a smart idea.
Don't know how many kick returns that when you're the
6.
up man like that you see, and there's again not much going on up the middle with the carry there. It looks like maybe a half a yard or so for number 27.
Yeah, and one might speculate they were just trying to keep the ball out of Ryland Spencer's hands, who has the ability to take it to the house for Uintah. He's had a couple of great kick returns.
And that's one thing. When you take a look at what Mike Peterson, Chris, the pieces that we've seen make an impact in this one for Uintah, he's going to have Jaden Horrocks coming back, Ryland Spencer. He's going to have to replace a quarterback, which is always a chore, but really a couple of those big playmakers could cause some trouble next year for Uintah. 2nd down and 9 as Oaks will get ready to throw, steps up and steps right into a quarterback sack. 3 or 4 Dons as he just stepped right. Bubba Rupena, number 44, was there, but I think it was number 9, Gabe Oldham, and number 85, Joe Graham, that got there for the sack.
Looks like Spanish Fork's going to use a timeout. They're going to try and get the ball back here before the half.
So that would make it 3rd and 13, so a definite passing situation here for Uintah, Chris, you would think. But right here, as we see Spanish Fork, who have a great opportunity. It's a short week for Spanish Fork and for Orem, both those teams playing tonight. And Chris, one of the things you talk about with a short week is you have to move everything up. So what you would normally do on a Saturday, you're going to probably have to do tomorrow. However, you still got work and school tomorrow for coaches, and then you get into Saturday, and you really have to probably practice on Saturday and get ready for Orem.
Yeah, and usually they probably have very limited activities, if any, on Saturday. So I wonder if they're going to treat tomorrow as if it's Monday and then move it up that way. I don't know what the strategy is, but I'm pretty sure they'll be laser focused because they're going to be chasing the Tigers next week, and that's a huge game for Spanish Fork. If they're able to find a way to win that would be a program changer.
And you look at it and you kind of wonder which, if you're Spanish Fork, you haven't played a big game like that going back multiple weeks. So to get ready and get up for that one at the end of the season is important. Here's the three-step drop, tries to drop it in there to the receiver, but that one's going to go incomplete, and that will bring up fourth down.
Fourth down, and Uintah will be in another punting situation.
And Carter Smith, it looks like, was the intended wide receiver there. Smith will play both receiver and can also play some quarterback, and Rhett Christofferson, the sophomore, will come on to punt, who's had a couple of nice punts tonight for Uintah.
Yeah, he has, and we'll see if he's done a great job of getting the ball off right before it gets blocked. But credit Spanish Forks special teams for not getting it running into the kicker penalty tonight.
Good snap. They're going to fake it. Christofferson's going to get outside, looking for the first down. Has a man to beat, and he's going to slide. It looks like he had a tough part of turf right as he was about to get the first down. He's going to come up a yard and a half short.
I thought he had it there for sure, and then the turf monster got him as he tried to cut back. I like the call for Uintah, trying to catch Spanish Fork by surprise. It did, and fortunately for Uintah, they're unable to pick up the first down, and we'll see if Spanish Fork, how aggressive they are in trying to get another touchdown here. I imagine pretty aggressive since they went ahead and called a timeout to get the ball back.
Parker Swenson ready to go, and he'll drop back to throw. Sets up the screen pass, gets it out to Trey Lofton. Lofton makes one man miss, and then is going to be brought down as getting there was Jaden Horrocks to make the tackle. And Horrocks right there, a nice stop. Clock down to 1:56 and running. Spanish Fork does have 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, great job that time by Horrocks, and then Riley coming back. He missed the first tackle for Uintah, and then he comes back and cleans it up.
Second down and 2 right here for Spanish Fork. 4 wide receivers, 2 to the top and 2 to the bottom of your screen. Swenson to throw, takes a shot deep, one-on-one coverage. He completes it, and getting in was Iera. No signal yet. Now it is touchdown Spanish Fork. Swenson to Iera.
That's a huge 37-yard pickup there, and touchdown by Dallas Iera. And wow, Swenson's looking great this season. He's got to be over 2,000 yards passing now.
And a nice pass there with just the right touch and a nice tight one-on-one coverage window right there. And Spencer Red will come on now for the extra point.
And that is the 7th Dawn to score a touchdown tonight.
And Spencer Red is now 6 of 7 on extra points. And with 1:28 to play here in the first half, Spanish Fork, this one's all Dons, up 48-0 on Uintah. The Dons look to be in control of this one here tonight.
Yeah, they do for sure, and if you're Uintah, you hope you can just hold on to the ball for the rest of this half and get into halftime, see if you can regroup. Clock will be running during the second half pretty much nonstop.
So we'll get ready here to kick it away. That's one thing we'll see here, exactly how things end up playing with that clock. I would imagine if you're Uintah at this point, you're kind of just halfway thinking, let's just get on the bus and start heading back to Vernal.
Yeah, well, unless you're one of those guys that'll just compete to the end, and I imagine there's a lot of guys with grit on this Uintah team.
Short kickoff here, coming up to receive it is going to be number 19, Carter Smith, and that gets it out to about the 31-yard line, and a nice return here for the Utes, and 1:23 to go. Put on your offensive coordinator hat, Chris, or you're just running the ball, getting it in the locker room?
Yeah, just trying to run that clock out, and we'll see if Spanish Fork elects to use those 2 timeouts that they have remaining. Now, Ryan, the research department just handed me 7 different Dons have scored touchdowns. They're all seniors here on senior night, so that's a pretty impressive number and pretty impressive way to go out on your senior night.
Preston Parrish mentioned that there might be some kind of changes. We might see some different players in there at times tonight. Ryland Spencer tries to cut it back up into the middle, and Spencer's going to be brought down, and now they'll blow the play dead. I think momentum there was driving that one. It'll bring up second down and long coming up here for the Utes.
Second down and a long ways to go, and clock's running here. We're almost under a minute to go.
So right now, as we'll see here, Uintah just appears to be kind of looking to try to get this one into halftime here. Coming up at the half, we'll have, I think we're going to have Las Chalitas here tonight. We'll have, I think the band too will do something here. They've left the stands, and they're somewhere down there. So it should be fun here on senior night for everyone. And 2nd and 10 coming up here for Uintah. Here's the pitch outside. Rylan Spencer gets the carry, fighting his way ahead, and he'll get at least back to the original line of scrimmage, but that will bring up 3rd down.
3rd down, and looks like Uintah might be able to run the clock out here since it hasn't been spotted, and there's 25 seconds, less than 25 seconds left on the clock.
So right now, we'll see here the Utes looking over towards that sideline. They're going to start heading towards the halftime locker room. So the final 4 seconds will come off the clock here at Spanish Fork High School. We've played a half. This one all dawns 48-0 Spanish Fork at the half. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have the halftime show here from Spanish Fork High School on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
See your good neighbors State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, my name is Greg Driggs. I'm the local manager for Prime Mortgage Lending, where our motto is find a path to yes. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, we'll go ahead and join the halftime show in progress here on Spanish Fork 17.
Give it up for your championship Los Cholios drill team. Welcome to the field, your Spanish Fork High School cheerleaders and song leaders. The song leaders is an addition to the cheer team tonight, and they compete nationally each year. Party people, put your hands up. Party on. Give it up for your song leaders. And now we'd like to welcome onto the field your Spanish Fork High School Marching Band. The Spanish Fork High School Marching Band has received many awards this year competing in Class 1A. They have earned 1 second-place award and 2 first-place awards so far this season. Along with first place at Utah State University, the marching band was recognized as an outstanding group in the areas of color guard, percussion, music, and visual performance. They will be defending their state championship Class 1A in St. George on October 26th. We'd like to welcome and wish the marching band a good luck in their upcoming competition. Tonight, they will be performing parts 2 and 3 of their 2018 marching show, What Goes Up. Please welcome Drum Major Brooklyn Harris and the 2018 Spanish Fork High School Marching Band to the field. Give it up for your championship, Spanish Fork High School Marching Band. The Spanish Fork Marching Band would also like to thank their diamond sponsor, Booth Brothers Music, for their generous support. Since 1983, Booth Brothers has provided and served the Spanish Fork community. Please visit them for all their music needs. They're located on Spanish Fork Main Street.
All right, well, that concludes our halftime show here from Spanish Fork High School. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll recap the first half, revisit our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game, and get you ready for the second half. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, my name is Greg Driggs. I'm the local manager for Prime Mortgage Lending, where our motto is find a path to yes. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, we welcome everybody back here at halftime. 48-0 lead for the Spanish Fork Dons on top of the Uintah Utes. Great to be with everybody on a little bit of a different week. Thursday night football here. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, when you take a look at that first half, we wondered how the Dons would play this, whether we would see a little bit of the run, the downhill pass. We saw a little of both, but Spanish Fork using quick scoring drives and big plays to get to that 48-0 lead.
Yeah, when they scored, they did it in a hurry, and then also they had to punt, I believe, 3 times. When they had to punt, they did it in a hurry as well. It was a quick start or 3 and out. So it was an interesting half, and Uintah had a couple of turnovers, really picked up a couple of first downs, but for whatever reason, they had good field position most of the half.
There was a couple times where it looked like Uintah might have an opportunity to get some momentum and maybe tack on a touchdown and try to chip their way back into it, but just never was able to finish a drive. Like you talked about, either penalties would come back to hurt them, and really, penalties didn't really hurt Uintah too much in the first half. It was those timely turnovers.
Yeah, it was, and also their inability to pick up first downs on 3rd and 4th down when they had it about 3rd or within about 4 or 5 yards. That usually have a negative play in that situation.
And so when you really take a look at it, Spanish Fork right now getting ready to come back onto the field. As you see, I think it's Drill and Cheer aligning the field here for Spanish Fork. When you take a look at the Dons, it was a little bit different position. The Dons hurt themselves really, Chris, with penalties and getting caught in a couple of these 3rd and 20 type situations.
Right, but they negated that with having huge plays against Uintah, getting to the second level and then just getting beyond. So I think Spanish Fork's offense looked good. Their defense looked great. That's why they have that 48-0 lead. The scary thing is if they wouldn't have had a couple of huge sacks and then also untimely penalties, they could be up maybe a couple more touchdowns.
Be interesting to see what happens here in the second half. Let's take a look at our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game right here and kind of do a halftime report card here, Chris. And as we see Spanish Fork come back onto the field, when you take a look at these keys to the game, Chris, Spanish Fork did well on most of them. Yeah, they definitely haven't overlooked this Uintah team. They've practiced and they're respecting them on the field. Also, they have got up early on the score, and I think they've kept their game plan pretty simple for the most part. I'm surprised they've tried to throw it deep as many times as they have, but this is kind of a warm-up game for Orem, so maybe you want to try a couple things out, and it's a cold night. Sometimes it'll be cold next week, so it's the perfect situation to try and practice some of those downfield passes, because they might need them next week to soften up the cornerbacks of Orem. When you really take a look at it and you look at this, as we see right now, our graphic right there. That'll be a 7 p.m. kick next Wednesday night. We'll be here at Spanish Fork for that one, which should be very exciting. Spanish Fork and Orem, with what appears to be, with Orem right now taking care of business against Payson. It appears to be the Region 10 championship game. The winner gets the number 1 spot to state, and really puts themselves in the driver's seat to play at home twice, where the number 2 seed, you get the first round home game, and then you have to wait to see what happens, whether you get that home game or not in the second round. So it'll be a very fun and interesting ball game. If you're Spanish Fork, Chris, how do you handle the second half?
I think maybe you play your starters one more possession. The clock will be running this entire half unless Uintah scores 3 touchdowns, I believe, to cut it to 27. And also try and get some of those youngsters in there and get some experience. Also, if you want to get some of those seniors in that maybe don't play as much tonight, be a great opportunity to do that as well. As they're calling it senior night here. You got one more home game. You can come next Wednesday to watch them play Orem. But at the end of the day, they've had 7 touchdowns by 7 different seniors. So they're it's their night to shine, and so far they have.
And really, when you take a look at it, you see our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game right there. They didn't overlook Uintah. They got up early. Now we'll have to see if they play the reserves. And really, they haven't done anything overly flashy.
And they haven't. We'll see what they do here on the kickoff. I know one thing, the one player that's been their thorn in the side for Uintah is number 1, Rylan Spencer, and he's back deep. And they, last couple times, they haven't kicked it to him, and that's for a reason. He's flipped the field position for Uintah tonight.
Spencer Red will get ready to kick it away for Spanish Fork. We'll get ready to put 12 minutes on the clock, and then we'll kind of see here how that goes. I would think we're going to see a pretty good amount of that clock just running the rest of the half right now here as we get ready to start the third quarter. 48-0 lead for Spanish Fork. Thank you for tuning in here on a Thursday night for some high school football. As Red will kick it away, and this one will go deep over towards Jaden Horrocks, who will bring it out across the 10. Cuts it up across the 20 out across almost to the 30-yard line. A good return right here for the Uintah Utes, and we'll see for the first time, and that clock is pretty much running pretty much the rest of the way here right now.
I think it'll only change when they change possession, and then once they set the ball ready for play, it'll start again. So it should be a pretty quick half here, and if you're Uintah, that's probably a blessing as you can get it. Some more opportunities to improve here, but also get home maybe at a better hour.
Because one thing with playing on a Thursday night, you still have class tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and their basketball and other sports run into that issue as they have to play in a region that's so far away.
High snap. They're going to get it away. They complete it out there to number 22, and that's Tyler Gardner. But Gardner will take a loss there. That one almost a dangerous play. And there you kind of see with that clock running right there, a minute gone by between the kickoff and that first play. So that kind of will let you know at home how quick the second half will go.
And great job by Spanish Fork's defense, just being like a swarm of bees and pursuing to the ball that time, both to the quarterback and to Gardner, who made that catch. Really disrupted the timing of that play.
We'll bring up 2nd and 16, a loss of 6 there on first down for Uintah. 4 wide receivers, they get the snap down, and this time it's Rylan Spencer, and he's going nowhere. He's going backwards, in fact.
A great job by that defensive line there. In particular, number 70 there, Blaine Bradford, a senior, had a huge tackle there and put some pressure on the line, just pushing that offensive lineman into the backfield.
The 3rd down and 18 coming up here with 10:08 to go here in the third quarter. Next week's contest, a 7 p.m. kick, which will be a fun one here at Spanish Fork. I would imagine the intensity will be pushed to a whole new level tomorrow night or next Wednesday night. The ball comes loose, and Spanish Fork right there to recover it, and the Dons will force a turnover here to start the third quarter.
Great job by the defenses. They've created a 3rd turnover tonight, and they'll put the offense in great field position near the prime mortgage lending zone. We haven't really been in the red zone tonight just due to the fact that the plays have been huge, scoring plays of over 60 yards at times.
So right now we'll see Parker Swenson come out at least for this first drive. Here's Dallas Iera just on a simple kind of screen pass. Iera is spinning, and he'll be escorted out of bounds at around the 7 or 8 yard line or so. And the Dons will have a first down and goal here.
First down and goal. Spanish Fork, quick pass there that time out to Iera. He's able to get the corner there and nearly finds his way into the end zone. But great job by Horrocks making the tackle there for Uintah.
Caleb Lundquist, we haven't seen him a lot at wide receiver. He's to the very bottom of your screen. Here's a give. Kimball Morley to the 5 yard line, breaking a tackle, and a nice heads-up tackle there coming in. That was Wagner from the corner spot, bringing down Kimball Morley as he tried to bounce it outside.
Yeah, and great job by Uintah stopping the run there. Morley with a full head of steam, and he's hard to bring down. He's very shifty.
Second down and goal from, looks like about the 6. Swenson to throw, going back corner, looking, believe for Congdon on the jump ball.
Looks like that one's intercepted by number 1, Ryland Spencer, who's been the player of the game for Uintah. It looks like he's come up a little bit of pain there. Hopefully he can walk that off.
There are 4 lights on the far side of the field that are out, and there's 2 of them that go to that very deep corner of the end zone. And so a tough play there. Parker Swenson will throw the interception, which will get the football back here to the Uintah Utes with 7:40 to go. The clock still running here. And one thing the officials said before the ball game was that there's times when they can kind of be a little more liberal with just letting that clock run, and tonight's one of those nights where they might just let that clock run no matter what.
No reason to allow this game to drag out at 48-0.
Here's Jaden Horrocks up the middle on first down, and not much going on there for Uintah on first down with that run up the middle.
Yeah, great job by that interior line for Spanish Fork. They played great this year. This has been one of the best defensive, run-stopping defenses Spanish Fork's had in recent memory. They've struggled at times, and that's been this team's Achilles heel, I think, the last couple of years, but it hasn't been a problem this year.
Gain of 2 on first down here for the Utes. Uintah just trying to move the ball. Uintah didn't score last week against Orem, trying to see if they can at least get on the board here tonight. Here's the end around, and again tripped up in the backfield. I believe that might have been Carter Smith. Number 19 was the ball carrier there.
That brings up a 3rd and about 9. Uintah in this down and distance is still elected to run the ball a lot. With the clock running, though, maybe you try and open up and pick up a first down by throwing the ball and still realizing, hey, the clock's going to run no matter what.
They were in a 3rd and long situation back in the second quarter, and they hit Rhett Christofferson, number 21, on a nice little slant route. We'll see if potentially they might look to go back there. They'll give it right up the middle right here, and won't be enough for a first down. They'll get a couple, however, and bring up 4th down, probably about 7.
4th and 7. Uintah will be forced to punt most likely in this situation. We saw a fake last time by the punter, number 21 for Uintah. That's Christofferson, and he nearly picked it up, and then the turf monster somehow got him as he tried to cut. So he was just 1 yard away.
It's Christofferson back deep at his own 10-yard line. And he'll have to rush to get this one off. Iera will come up to receive it at the 48-yard line. Cuts back to the outside. Breaks a tackle. Gets ahead of steam. Down the sideline. Iera looking for the end zone. And there's the special teams touchdown that we were waiting to see tonight. And we'll see. I don't see any penalty flags. And Dallas Iera returns the punt 49 yards to the house for a Spanish Fork touchdown.
That's his 2nd touchdown of the night. And yes, we've got our special team score, and Spanish Fork extends this lead to 54 points. PAT pending.
There you hear the firework in the background as Spencer Red will come on. Red did miss 1 extra point here on the evening for Spanish Fork.
Spencer Red's been very reliable, though, for the most part this season.
And that one looks good as well, and it's through. And with 4:27 and counting, Spanish Fork has gone up 55-0 here on Uintah. That clock just continuing right now to run here in between the touchdowns. And you have to kind of think, if you're Uintah right now, I mean, really, what else can you do? I mean, you've fought with. I got to give credit to Uintah tonight, Chris. It is hard when you're losing 55-0 to still continue to play. And there's a lot of Utes out there tonight, Chris, that are still playing like this game is 7-0.
Yeah, they are. And for them, I think if they can just find a way to maybe get a couple of first downs, let that clock run, maybe find a way to score some points, that would be a huge moral victory.
So it'll be number 81 set and ready to kick it away. Riker Barton, the senior kicker and punter. And he'll approach this one and sends this one to about the 1 yard line. Here's Jaden Horrocks on the return across the 15 to the 20. Still on his feet as he crosses the 25, almost to the 30 yard line or so, before they'll blow the play dead.
And Uintah will get the ball inside their 30. In the first half, it seems like they had a lot better field position. Now, if you're Uintah here, I wonder if you might want to take a couple of chances and just see if you can't throw the ball downfield.
As we'll see here, a lot of the reserves coming in now here for Spanish Fork, just kind of looking around here for the Dons. We'll try to identify things as quickly as we can for you, but Spanish Fork right now getting all set up and ready to go. I formation set. Here's the give straight up the middle. Ryland Spencer going nowhere. Josh Traffney, number 47 getting there. That is Cooper Sissem, the senior linebacker. Sissem getting there.
Yeah, once again, great job by the Spanish Fork line, just dominating the Utes tonight.
Not a lot that can happen when you can't get a good push going on first down. Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 32 yard line. We've had a relatively clean game when it comes to penalties, I'll say. Back to throw. Oakes looking on the slant route. Has it complete to Carter Smith. And a good pickup there. A whole host of Dons getting in there on the stop. And Uintah going to be about a yard shy of the marker.
Yeah, a yard shy here. I wonder if they try and go with that fullback run. That's been a quick hitter that's been able to get him 1 yard most of the time. We'll see.
On the offensive line, you have number 9, Gabe Oldham. Number 47, Cooper Sissem. Number 42, that is Brendan Cabreros. And there's a give to number 27 as he tries to bounce it outside. And, boy, cutting it outside, Chris, may have cost him the first down. It's going to be close.
Looks like he might just be on the other side of the marker here. So we got about 1 minute to go here in the third quarter.
And he's going to be, and they're going to give it to him. First down, Uintah. Also out there on the defensive line, looks like number 31, Holden King, as well. I formation set here for the Utes. Back to throw with some time, looking downfield into double coverage, is batted and almost caught. That one goes incomplete. Kimball Morley, one of the defenders out there for Spanish Fork, knocks that one away.
It looked like that was intended for Rhett Christofferson, the sophomore, and it looked like everybody about had a chance to pick that ball off, or to catch that ball, including both the offense and defender.
Linebackers for Spanish Fork out there right now. Andrew Lukens, the senior, out there with Tage Langford. That one's going to be complete over the middle. That's going to be enough for a first down, though, and that will end our third quarter. So we've reached the end of 3 here from Spanish Fork High School. This one's all Dons, 55-0 Uintah, moving the football, trying to end the shutout here on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
See your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check.
Well, it's 1st and 10 Uintah at the Spanish Fork 45-yard line, and Dagan Oaks will roll out looking towards the sideline, directing traffic downfield. That one's going to go incomplete, looking for Carter Smith. I failed to mention one linebacker before we ended the third quarter. That is number 34, Nate Ramirez, in there as well at the linebacker position.
And, yeah, on that last play, McKay Davis comes with a pass break up there, and it's great to see all these Dons that usually don't get to play in the varsity game showing up tonight. We get some sophomores and juniors that get some valuable varsity action.
Spencer Vest, the cornerback, to the very bottom of your screen for Spanish Fork. And Dagan Oaks running for his life, and he will be brought down back at around the 49-yard line. The entire defensive line for the Dons getting there. Brendan Cabreros there coming up with the football, and he was ready, Chris, to start running towards the end zone.
Yeah, you're excited. It's cold. You've been sitting in the bench, biting at the bit to get in there and get in the game, and so when you get that ball hits the ground, why not run a little bit?
So bring up 3rd down and 14 right now. Ball on the 49-yard line of Spanish Fork here. 10:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Clock at this point just continually moving. Ready to go here from shotgun and back to throw as Oaks. He throws a bullet out there, and that one goes incomplete. Believe looking out there for Jaden Horrocks, number 20. And that will bring up 4th down and 14.
Looks like Uintah is going to keep their offense on the field, try and pick this one up. And they've had a pretty effective drive through the air.
Bennett Gordon out there is right now at corner on the very far side of your field. And then Davis and then number 24 out there as well, Brad Stevens, a sophomore. So a lot of sophomores in right now for Spanish Fork. Oaks back to throw with some time, taking a shot over the middle of the field, has a man out there, and it looks complete to number 19, Carter Smith, and they're going to have a 1st down inside the 25.
And a great job by Carter Smith running a post route that time, finding himself wide open and making the catch. And Uintah's driving the ball, and that's a huge 4th down pickup.
And really the tough part here, Chris, is that shutout would look really nice in the box score if you're Spanish Fork. The last thing you want to do is maybe give up a touchdown here in the final 9 minutes.
Yeah, as a defense, you always pride yourself on having a goose egg on your other teams in the newspaper the next day.
Ryland Spencer in and back to throw with some time. Trying to set up the screen pass going back to Spencer. That one incomplete. Ben Ramirez, number 34, in the coverage there. Trying to make a diving play on the ball and brings up 2nd and 10.
Huge 2nd and 10 here for Uintah as they've finally found success through the air. So if they're going to get some points here, it's going to probably have to be here soon with this running clock. There's about 8 minutes of actual time left in this ball game.
And with that continual running clock, I've only seen that one other time here on Spanish Fork 17. That was when Spanish Fork played East, that's going back probably 3 years ago or so. Back to throw with some time, and Oaks looking over the middle, has a man. That's Horrocks inside the 5-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st and goal right there, and it goes back to Jaden Horrocks.
Now we'll see if Uintah keeps throwing the air, as the 12th defender will be the end line of the end zone there, so the field really shortens, and where they've been taking advantage, Spanish Fork's across the middle and kind of deep, so that's going to go away here.
So now you have to try to see if you can With the running game, I'm kind of surprised to see with how well Uintah played in that first half, Chris, with that fullback dive. I'm surprised to see them in the shotgun formation. High snap, Oaks gets it down, looking over the middle, has a man who couldn't make the diving catch. That was put out there for number 7, Dominic Sizemore, the junior, and that will bring up second and goal from the 5.
Second goal from the 5 here, and Uintah is continuing to throw it on the air. Great idea, as there was a little slant route that time. Sizemore was open. He just couldn't come up with it.
It has to be exciting for some of these young players to get in the ball game this year for Spanish Fork, especially end of the season when the games start to get important. Here's Ryland Spencer in, and he's in. Touchdown, Uintah. Ryland Spencer from 5 yards out, and the Utes have their first touchdown going back quite a few quarters, and a nice job there and a really nice drive from Uintah.
Yeah, and they cap off all those passing yards with the run by Ryland Spencer, who has been a special teams animal tonight, with some great kickoff returns today. And he's just a junior. He'll be back next year for Uintah.
Rhett Christofferson on for the extra point. High snap, they get it down, and the kick is blocked, and they lit a firework off right as the kicker was about to kick the ball there, and that one was missed there, and it goes wide to the right there.
Yeah, not sure what that's about, but 55-6 with 6:54. The clock will run when they set it down to punt.
And there's some conversation right now, and I think they might be bringing everybody back.
They're probably going to say that firework disrupted the play. Let's play it over.
And they're going to bring it back. The officials had a conversation, and now they're going to run it back. I don't know if it was just bad timing or what the situation was right there, but Rhett Christofferson, that one will essentially go down as no attempt, and Christofferson will have another shot at it here.
The other interesting thing is usually you don't light off fireworks when the other team scores. I've never seen that before, Ryan.
Maybe in a neutral site bowl game or something, but I've never seen it here. And the extra point, this one looks good. A line drive kick is through, and Uintah adds 1 to their score. So 6:54 to go in the fourth quarter. Spanish Fork 55, Uintah 7. The Utes on the board, and Chris, really a nice way for the Utes to maybe start that bus ride back to Vernal, knowing, hey, we were able to find a way to have a drive in the fourth quarter that ended in a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like this Uintah team has scored a lot of points, so I think that's their 52nd point of the season. We're into it about 8 games. So that's great anytime you can score. All that hard work pays off with the touchdown for Uintah there.
It's been a tough year for the Utes for sure. They've played some good competition. They've lost some tough ones. They put 21 up on Payson, which I think might be their season high, something close to that. That was a couple weeks ago, but that went into a 50-21 loss for the Utes against the Payson Lions. That was, I believe, the region opener for Uintah. That was, I believe, the night we were at Spanish Fork, Salem Hills.
Yeah, I believe so. And Uintah's went 4 ball games into this season without scoring any points. So half the time they're not scoring at all. So it's great for them to get a touchdown tonight.
And this kick will go almost into the end zone. It will be picked up and returned by Spanish Fork. They'll get it out across right now, just out to around the 20-yard line. I believe that was Jacob Moore on the return.
Yeah, Jacob Moore has to go pick that up near the end zone and does a good job to bring it outside of the 20, or to the 20, I should say.
And now we'll see here offensively for Spanish Fork, as it will be number 18, Zach Dart, in to run the offense. The tailback, believe that's number 21. I think that Zach Buse might be the tailback.
Yeah, Zach Dart, the freshman quarterback, stepping in.
Here's the give. That's Zach Buse, number 21, on the carry. Buse will get a couple of yards ahead, and now we'll see Marco Williams right now come in the ball game.
Brings up second and about 8 here, and if you're Spanish Fork, I imagine probably not going to do anything too fancy or throw it through the air unless it's down and distance dictates. So
here's Dart as he hands it off. This one to Marco Williams, and Williams there just getting back to the line of scrimmage there. second down, brings up third down and about 8.
3rd and 8, and I wonder if they're going to let Dart throw the ball in this situation.
Very top of your screen, the 2 receivers to the top and 2 to the bottom. Dart back to throw with some time, has a man out there. That is going to be caught, and that's going to be a nice pickup there. Number 49, Darren Euler on the catch, the sophomore. Nice pickup there. It's going to bring up 4th and short, and you have to wonder if you're Preston Parrish at this point, if you're maybe not just going to just go for it.
Looks like they are going to go for it in this situation. If they don't get it, it'll give Uintah a good field position, but with a 48-point lead, probably not that big a deal.
Dart will pull it, and he'll try to get it. Now it just tries to pitch it outside. That's going to go be ruled an incomplete pass. He was trying to get it out to number 13, the junior Luke Evans, and that'll be a turnover on downs here with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter.
So Uintah gets the ball in great field position. They come off scoring their first touchdown of the game. We'll see if they can build on that last drive and get another one before they head home and the clock starts to run once again.
So they'll give the ball back over. It's a little harder to identify all the offensive players than it was with the defensive players. So
yeah, it is.
That's why you didn't see. I was trying to get names quickly on the offensive line and try to get the receivers out there quickly to you. Be 1st and 10 from about the 27-yard line, and Dagan Oaks back to throw. Throws this one incomplete, looking again for number 7. That's Sizemore.
And Uintah's looking to attack the middle of that field and about the medium range passes, and that's where they had a lot of success on the last drive.
We'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. 3:30 to go here in the 4th quarter. The running clock here for Spanish Fork. They'll have one more game in their regular season left. The Dons have pretty much put themselves in a position where they'll have a chance for a home playoff game. So that will be good for Spanish Fork to at least get that first round home game in the playoffs. Now it's just whether they'll play the 3 seed or the 4 seed, which we won't know for, well, another few days. Oaks being chased in the backfield, throws this one, put it almost behind his intended receiver. It's going to go incomplete. Again, the intended receiver this time was number 27, who we apologize for not having a name for. He was not listed on either roster that I had, so might have just been a late number change or maybe a jersey, ripped or something like that.
Great coverage by Lunkins there as he just swats that ball down for Spanish Fork.
End up being 3rd and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line. 55-7 in favor of Spanish Fork. Here's the give straight up the middle. This is Ryland Spencer, who's had himself a ball game. He'll have his jersey pulled from behind before being brought down. Now bring up 4th down and probably about 4 or so coming here for Uintah.
4th and 4, and if Uintah doesn't pick it up, I imagine Spanish Fork can just get in the victory formation and end this game.
So ball on about the 23-yard line. 4th down, looks like it's going to be about 6 yards at the end of the day. Oaks from shotgun, has 4 wide receivers, drops back to throw, steps up, now rolls out of the pressure, now throws it at the last minute, has a man out there but overthrew him, goes incomplete, and a penalty flag will come in late on a late hit on the quarterback right there. I'm not sure, I believe might have been Langford.
Langford just threw him to the ground. He didn't need to do that, and that'll give Uintah a 1st down, and the clock will continue to run here as we're under a minute 37 to go, and they'll stop the clock, I guess, for the penalty call.
Right here, not a lot of fans from Uintah making the trip. The stands on the far side of the field pretty bare tonight, but we hope that everyone traveling back to Vernal tonight in that area will make a safe trip back over there. And now they'll start to, I thought they were going to start to run the clock here, but be 1st and 10 from the 12. So Uintah still has an opportunity to get a 1st down. They can get inside the 12. Now the clock will run. Oaks back to throw with some time back of the end zone, and that one's going to be intercepted in the back of the end zone. Coming away with it, I believe, was number 24. I believe that was Brad Stevens who came away with it.
Yeah, big time play by Brad Stevens, the sophomore, getting an opportunity to play and prevents Uintah from scoring another touchdown here.
And now I would think you might see Zach Dart just come in and take the victory formation here for Spanish Fork. And Dart right now in the pistol formation. Davidson the deep back. And Dart will give it up the middle. Davidson there on the carry will get back to the original line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, 2nd and 10 here. Looks like Spanish Fork will probably just hand the ball off to Davidson. Get in a couple more reps for these offensive linemen and running backs to try and pick up some yards.
And now the big week will begin for Spanish Fork. And that one's mishandled by Dart, and he'll fall on it back at about the 6. Or sorry, back at about the 10, is a heads-up play there by Dart. I think that snap just coming a little high there, and Dart mishandled it.
And that'll bring up 3rd down and a long ways to go here. The last thing you want to do is have a turnover. So great job by Dart getting down on that ball.
The Dons only have to snap it one more time. 22 seconds on the clock, 10 on the play clock, and here's the run just right up the middle here. And now it's just a matter of letting that clock run down, and Preston Parrish says, okay, we're done, boys. Let's go shake hands. And if you're Spanish Fork, an opportunity to get prepared for what will be the Region 10 championship game next week. The Dons take care of business tonight, 55-7 over Uintah. We'll take a break, and we come back. We'll have our final thoughts tonight. We'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game, and we'll preview next week's game with Orem. You're watching high school football here on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
See your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, my name is Greg Driggs. I'm the local manager for Prime Mortgage Lending, where our motto is find a path to yes. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Well, a great night here for Spanish Fork. The Dons take care of business by a final of 55-7 over Uintah. The fireworks here have started. But boy, Chris, if you really want to look at this one, the fireworks for Spanish Fork, it started about 2 hours ago right after kickoff.
It did. They scored 3 touchdowns in the first 3 minutes of this ball game, which really set a tone for it. And they had that early 21-0 lead with hardly any time going off the clock, and very impressive start for the Dons.
We're seeing some nice aerial shots right now. Lots of bright, vibrant colors out there. Some nice kind of ones that kind of swirl. The Dons are getting ready to ring the victory bell here at Spanish Fork High School tonight. And Chris, we talked about it. One of our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game was not to overlook Uintah. And it really didn't look like Spanish Fork was going to overlook Uintah at all tonight.
Right. There was a sizable talent difference between the two teams, as we can now see the fireworks behind that light. I think Spanish Fork did everything they needed to do. They respected their opponent. They played hard. They put up some points. And now they got to get ready for Orem.
Pretty sure right here is the grand finale going on. Is you kind of see lots of different colors. A fun night to have some fireworks here. But Chris, you mentioned a big point tonight was getting ready for Orem, making sure that you kind of maybe dotted the I's, you crossed the T's, you had everything ready to go tonight. If you're Spanish Fork, probably the one thing you take away from this one, you have to clean up maybe some of the penalties and some of the negative situations you put yourself in.
Yeah, and they're going to have to play a near flawless game next week to beat Orem, and I think they can do it. It's just Orem's got a lot of talent, and I think if Spanish Fork wins it, they're going to have to put up some points. And I think they can do that with Swenson next week as the quarterback. He's probably got over 2,000 yards passing at the end of this game, over 20 touchdown passes. He's having himself a good season. So if you're Spanish Fork, you can't have those holding penalties. You can't turn the ball over. You got to play near perfect football, and if they do that, we'll see what happens.
Tonight's MVP Sports MVP of the game could make a big difference next week. Tonight it goes to Noah Conway, however, who we've kind of been waiting for. We've seen him make some plays at times this year, but really tonight I felt like he might have had his best game that we've seen all year.
Yeah, he started out by having a great kickoff return to start this game, which set up the first touchdown, and then on the second possession Spanish Fork had on their first play of it, he had a 69-yard catch and run into the end zone, and he had another big reception. So all-purpose yards, he's got to be well over 200 yards in this ball game.
When you take a look at it, it should be kind of fun to see what Spanish Fork can do. The Dons wore the all-black uniforms tonight, and they're celebrating down on the field here. Before we sign off for tonight, Chris, let's get a quick preview of a couple of keys that Spanish Fork has to have next week against the Orem Tigers.
I think they're going to have to put up some points because we know Orem's got an explosive offense. They're going to put up some points. So I think Spanish Fork's defense is going to have to bend but not break. And then like I mentioned earlier, they've got to play mistake-free football, go toe-to-toe with Orem and punch those guys in the mouth. And if you do that, and not back down, I think Spanish Fork has a chance of winning that ball game. And anytime you can win a region championship, that's something you'll remember the rest of your life.
Should be fun. You see the graphic right there. Next Wednesday, October 17th, our final regular season broadcast of the year. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff, Spanish Fork and Orem from Spanish Fork High School. Essentially the Region 10 championship game. The winner wins a region title. They're the number 1 seed to the state playoffs. The loser will finish second, will be the number 2 seed. Both teams will have guaranteed themselves at this point a first-round home game. It's just a matter of who they're going to play out of Region 11. It should be a fun one next week. I'm already excited, Chris. Can we just kick it off in a couple days? But no, we'll wait till Wednesday. Sure, coaches want to be prepared and ready to go, but it should be a fun one. Here, we'll get ready to say so long tonight from Spanish Fork High School for our Spanish Fork Community Network team and my partner Chris Hurst. I'm Ryan Pickens saying so long, where tonight Spanish Fork takes care of business against Uintah by a final of 55-7. We'll see you next week for more high school football in Spanish Fork 17.
Hello, you're watching the Spanish Fork Community Calendar. Here's what's happening in our community for the week of October 8th to the 14th. On Tuesday, October 9th, catch some playoff soccer as the Lady Golden Eagles host Farmington High School at Maple Mountain High School in the first round of the UHSAA 5A tournament. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. And in girls volleyball, it's senior night at Spanish Fork High School as the Lady Dons match up against Lehigh High School. The game will begin at 6 p.m. in the Spanish Fork High School Auxiliary D Gym. Tuesday night, you can mix art and dinner by attending Paint Night at the Sunglow Cafe on 80 West and 1000 North from 7 to 9 p.m. Learn how to paint this awesome witch kitty while enjoying Sunglow's delicious selection of pies and other great food. Tickets are available at paintnight.com, that's NITE.com, and if you use the promo code PNPPROVO40, you can save 40% on your tickets. And Tuesday is also the early registration deadline for junior jazz basketball for boys and girls between the 3rd to the 8th grades. The early registration fee is $35, and after the 9th, the fee will be $40. There will also be a youth basketball camp held between October 30th and November 1st, put on by the Spanish Fork High School coaches. An additional $5 will be required for participation in the camp and can be paid with the league registration fee. You can register your child at reconline.spanishfork.org. For more information, call the Parks and Recreation office at 801-804-4600. On Wednesday, October 10th, the Spanish Fork High School Choir will be performing in the high school's auditorium at 7 p.m. But competition alert! The Maple Mountain High School Choir is also performing in their auditorium Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Well, no matter which you choose, your ears will surely be treated to a display of wonderful selection of songs and soul. Wednesday's events at the Spanish Fork Public Library include Preschool Pals at 10:30 a.m., ABC Kids at 1 p.m., and Fathering with Love and Logic from 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday, October 11th, there will be a grief and loss support group from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Spanish Fork Senior Center, hosted by Maple Creek Hospice. This group is specially designed for caregivers and those grieving the loss of a loved one. It aims to provide support, education, and resources. Come share your experience to heal and help others. Groups are held the second Thursday of every month. For more information, contact Maple Creek Hospice at 801-798-5333. Do you have a love for crafting and all things creative? The Dandelion Way Market is holding its grand opening at its new location at 1056 Expressway Lane from Thursday to Saturday. The market will be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day and is free to the public. For more information, visit dandelionwaymarket.com. Thursday evening,